Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting informed. So today we're tackling something huge. Social media. Think back maybe 5 years. It feels
Yeah.
different now. These platforms, they promise connection, right? Community,
Yeah.
giving everyone a voice. But for a lot of us, it feels like they've kind of devolved into something, well, more draining. We hear about rising anxiety, depression, just this constant flood of content, and this feeling that it's messing with our focus, maybe even society itself. Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into why social media seems so much worse recently, and this quiet rebellion that's bubbling up. It actually has the people who built these things a bit worried.
Yeah, it's really
Right.
something because if you step back, the core idea that promise of connection, it got twisted really by money, by economic pressures. And that puts us at this really interesting point, how we actually deal with these incredibly powerful tools day to day. Think about Instagram's login page. Even now it says sign up to see photos and videos from your friends.
Right.
But is that what it is anymore? It feels more like a content machine. We'll be looking at insights from people like Jack Kai, he's the co-founder of Patreon, and Asa Rashin, the guy who literally invented Infinite Scroll. Some really key voices here.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go back to the early days, Web 2.0, around 2005-ish.
Yeah.
Before that, the internet was mostly, read-only. You browse sites, read news, kind of a one-way street. Then Web 2.0 hits, and suddenly, bam, people can upload, share, broadcast their own ideas. It was revolutionary. And out of that came this really, really profound bit of internet define. Just the follow. Simple idea, huge impact.
Yeah, it really was.
It gave us the power,
Yeah.
right? You decided who you liked, who you wanted in your feed. It really felt like your little corner of the internet. You built it around actual connections, things you were genuinely interested in. People describe it as, subscribing to stuff that made you happy, inspired you.
Felt positive?
Uplifting, yeah. It was about real interaction. But that vision, almost, idealistic. It didn't last long once these companies went public.
Ah, okay. The money thing.
Exactly. Suddenly the pressure was immense. How do you turn all that connection, all that sharing into profit? That's where the user's desires and the platform's needs really started to pull apart. How do you monetize eyeballs at that scale?
Right. And the answer they landed on was ads, advertising. So platforms start running ads and suddenly, wow, there's serious money involved, which kicked off this relentless cycle, didn't it? It was like, get bigger, show more ads, get more users, show more ads, keep people scrolling longer,
Show more ads.
Get more data on them, their hopes, fears, dreams, everything, and then sell really expensive targeted ads. It's an incredibly powerful engine they built.
And you mentioned Jack Key from Patreon earlier. He puts it really starkly.
Yeah, what does he say? It's quite bracing.
He basically says, the customer of Facebook is the advertiser, not you, the user, the advertiser.
So what does that actually mean for us?
Well, Key argues that the whole financial system, like centuries of financial infrastructure,
Yeah.
it's now effectively aimed at sucking attention away from us.
Wow.
Sucking attention away.
Yeah. So our well-being, real connection, that stuff becomes secondary. Or maybe not even secondary. It's all about keeping eyes on screens for the ad revenue. It reminds me of that Bo Burnham line, tech companies aren't just after a piece of your time.
They want to colonize every minute of your life.
Exactly. Every spare second is a chance to learn more, target better.
Which brings up a really important question, doesn't it? What happens when the whole business model depends on, well, exploiting our weaknesses, basically, to grab every last second of attention instead of, helping us connect?
It completely changes the game. The platform's purpose shifts from enabling us to interact to just maximizing time on site for profit.
And they get really clever about it. Subtle design tweaks that prey on our psychology.
Oh, absolutely. Tiny changes can have a massive impact, tapping right into our vulnerabilities.
Like infinite scroll. It sounds so simple, right?
Yeah, just keep scrolling.
But it fundamentally changed how we consume everything online. Before that, websites had pages, natural stopping points.
Yeah.
You finished a page, you decided, okay, do I click next or am I done?
A conscious choice.
Right. But then in 2006, this interface designer, Asa Rashin, he thought, let's just get rid of the pages, make it one long, never-ending feed, and what seemed like just a smoother user experience. Boom. It becomes maybe one of the most influential, and some might say damaging, changes to how we use the internet.
Because there's no endpoint.
Exactly. No natural break. So that endless stream just quietly steals hundreds of hours from your life every year. It's not just the business model. Even these seemingly small design choices have huge ripple effects.
And the creator, Rashin, he feels pretty bad about it now, right?
He really does. It's quite a story. His goal, he says, was just to make things smoother for the individual user. He thought that was morally good.
But he admits he was completely blind to how it was going to get picked up and used not for people, but against people. He looks back and says, being blind to how it was going to be used globally was sort of globally amoral at best, or maybe even a little immoral.
Wow.
It really shows how even good intentions, when you scale them up globally and mix them with the pressure to grab attention, can just warp things. Profit ends up trumping well-being.
And in this digital world, things move so fast. Apps blow up, others fade away. So the big players, they have to copy features quickly or they risk falling behind.
Oh, yeah. Survival of the fastest copier sometimes.
We saw it with Snapchat features, then
Yeah.
BeReal tried its thing, and then the TikTok tsunami hit.
Right. TikTok's just exploded,
Yeah.
especially with younger people.
But its real innovation, the truly game-changing part, wasn't just the short vertical videos. A lot of people think that, but that's kind of missing the point.
So what was the big shift then?
It was ditching the follow model.
Yeah.
Remember how we said you used to build your feed,
Mm-hmm.
your curated space? TikTok basically threw that out. It rebuilt your feed from scratch based on who we think you're going to like, the we being the algorithm.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't about your friends or interests anymore.
Not primarily.
Yeah.
It was optimized purely for time spent. Your social connections, that network you built. Less important. Every single scroll became a lesson for the algorithm. This keeps them watching.
Which leads to crazy viral stuff. Like you mentioned, a video of someone turning into a monster getting, what, 68 million views?
Yeah, insane numbers. So this TikTok approach, how much did it really take away that user control we had back in the Web 2.0 days?
Oh, massively. It essentially handed control over from you, the user, to the algorithm. Every scroll feeds the machine rather than reflecting your conscious choices.
So the platforms aren't really serving us or even the creators first.
Not primarily, no. They serve the algorithm's goal. Maximum attention, whatever it takes. And often that's at the expense of a positive experience or even our emotional state.
Because TikTok was so addictive.
So addictive, yeah. That consumer experience was powerful. So Instagram, Facebook, they saw their traffic getting siphoned off. They felt they had to copy TikTok's For You style feeds just to stay in the game.
It reminds me of Johan Hari's book, Stolen Focus. He talks about the algorithm.
Right, he says the algorithm doesn't care if you're calm or angry. It's totally neutral on that.
It only cares about one thing.
Well, you keep scrolling. That's it. And here's the kicker, this quirk of human behavior. We tend to stare at something negative and outrageous for a lot longer than we will stare at something positive and calm.
So the algorithm learns that outrage works. It keeps us hooked.
Bingo. Which shapes the whole ecosystem.
And you can imagine, right, being constantly fed this kind of stuff, not chosen by you, but by an algorithm chasing engagement. Often negative stuff, it leads to people feeling pretty unhappy. Social media feels less social now, more about, I don't know, highly commodified content, lifestyle aspiration, endless viral trends. Less about your actual friends and family.
Yeah, the genuine connection fades.
And it's not just a feeling. Meta, Facebook's parent company, they admitted in an FTC trial that, get this, 7% of time spent on Instagram in 2025 is spent viewing content from friends.
7%. That's incredibly low.
It's staggering. And you hear to people's personal stories. Our sources talked about feeling completely detached from reality or more irritated with my daughter, constantly comparing their marriage, feeling insecure about my face, my hair, my body. It's rough.
It really is a long way from that early promise of feeling uplifted. Which begs the question, right? If these things often make us feel miserable, why are we still using them so much?
It's the million-dollar question.
And Jack Kai, again, has a really insightful take. He says there is a difference between what we value and what we attend to.
Say more about that.
We end up spending our attention, our focus, on things that aren't important to us, that don't bring our lives meaning and joy. It's like our brains are wired one way, but these platforms constantly hijack that wiring.
This constant exposure to stimuli with intermittent rewards all day long.
Yeah, it's like carrying a slot machine in your pocket, pulling the lever constantly. It short-circuits the brain, leads to real cognitive consequences, this background hum of anxiety that just follows you around.
And the data backs this up. There was a poll showing 2/3 of 16 to 24-year-olds think social media does more harm than good.
2/3. And half think they spent too much time on it when they were younger.
Oof. That quote from the journalist Gabby Hinsliff really nails it, too. She said something like,
Yeah, this isn't how someone talks about something they love, but how you look back on a relationship that was, in retrospect, making you miserable.
exactly, that hits hard. But people aren't just passively accepting this, are they? This feeling of misery.
No, definitely not. There's a real pushback happening, a kind of quiet rebellion, like you said earlier.
So what does this rebellion actually look like? And what does it mean for these huge platforms that are sort of caught in the middle? They need users happy, but they also need profit.
Well, it's becoming a serious headache for them because, yeah, user unhappiness eventually hits the bottom line. We're seeing more and more people actively resisting. Remember when doing a social media detox felt kind of weird or, socially unacceptable?
Yeah, like you were opting out completely.
No. It's pretty common. People talk about it openly. And we're seeing the rise of things like minimalist phones or dumb apps that limit functionality.
Right, phones that just make calls and texts.
Exactly. Or concerts asking you to put phones away. Groups like the Offline Club popping up, trying to encourage actual face-to-face interaction.
And some people are just deleting the apps entirely.
Yep. Just hitting delete, saying, I want to get my life back. It's a powerful statement.
I want to get my life back. Yeah, that resonates. It feels like a growing number of people are realizing, hey, this isn't actually serving me well anymore. So if we zoom out again, what's the bigger picture here? What's the future holds for these platforms? And maybe more importantly for us?
Well, it's fascinating because even with all these problems, there's this sense that we're still really early in figuring all this out.
Like the internet's still new, relatively speaking.
Exactly. These platforms, they're caught in a system that demands endless growth. So faced with a choice between profit and user satisfaction, they'll probably choose profit. Unless that dissatisfaction really starts to hurt their numbers significantly.
But there's hope.
Jack Kiss offers some, I think. He points out, humanity's only been trying to figure this out for 2 decades. The internet is brand new. It's going to take humans a little while to figure that out.
So adaptation is possible. We might find better ways to live with these tools.
Hopefully, yeah. Ways that actually serve us better, leading to maybe a more intentional digital future.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. We've traced this journey, haven't we? From that early idealistic promise of Web 2.0 where the follow gave us control to where we are now. This profit-driven machine that kind of sucks up our attention.
Yeah, fueled by ads, using clever design like infinite scroll and these powerful algorithms to just keep us glued.
And we've seen the result. Widespread frustration, real psychological costs, and now this growing pushback from users. So what's the big takeaway for you listening right now?
It really seems to be about finding some kind of balance. Like the sources suggest, it's probably not about going off the grid and living in a cave.
Right, that's not realistic for most people.
But it's about making sure technology actually adds value to your life, helps you find purpose, clarity, maybe even joy, instead of just anxiety.
And maybe the bigger question looking forward isn't just how will Facebook or TikTok change? It's more about how will we change? All of us together. What kind of digital future do we actually want? And what responsibility do we each take for where our own attention goes in this crazy, noisy world? Building on that Jack Keane idea, again, the difference between what we value and what we attend to, that feels really crucial.
So maybe the final thought is, what truly commands your attention day to day? And does it actually line up with what you truly value? Something to chew on.